Bernie Sanders is no longer in the race for the White House, but he says his progressive ideas will live on.
Lab workers are trying to stay healthy so that they can keep working to fight COVID-19. We'll talk with two of them.
And while many are trying to avoid going to the grocery store, some are enjoying their homegrown produce.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
While this campaign is coming to an end, our movement is not.
Bernie Sanders has officially dropped out of the 2020 presidential race. Good evening, I'm Noah CAMRAS reporting from my home in West Hills, California.
And I'm Lauren LaBruno reporting from my home in Fullerton, California. This clears the path for Joe Biden to become the nominee for the Democratic Party. Sanders spoke to his supporters this morning.
I want to express to each of you my deep gratitude for helping to create an unprecedented grassroots political campaign that has had a profound impact in changing our nation. On a very personal note, speaking for Jane, myself, and our entire family, we will always carry in our hearts the memory of the extraordinary people we have met across this country.
Bernie's always been a passionate voice for progress, and he put his heart and soul not only into running for president, but also the causes and issues he has been dedicated to his whole life. He's inspired and energized millions of supporters, especially young voters, to join him in championing a progressive vision for our country. And he didn't just run a political campaign, he created a movement. And that's a good thing for the nation and for our future.
Sanders' campaign thanked the millions of people who contributed to his campaign. The average donation was just $18.50. Many who contributed were young voters, including Trojans for Bernie.
I believe the hope is within the Democratic Party that his dropping out will lead to a more unified coalition. However, based upon what happened in 2016, I'm not entirely sure if that's what's going to happen. A lot of young people are especially tired of the same establishment Democrats going up for election, and it just seems like there's nothing new.
Now the latest on the coronavirus. Across the country, there are more than 395,000 cases, according to the CDC, and the number of deaths is up to more than 12,700. And in LA County, there are more than 7,500 cases of COVID-19 and 198 deaths. Today, the LA County Health Director thanked first responders for their sacrifice and their bravery.
We have documented 324 healthcare workers that have tested positive for COVID-19. And for me, the words thank you don't really convey the gratitude I feel to all of the frontline healthcare workers. You're heroes, and we appreciate your commitment to continuing to take excellent care of all of us, while we know you're facing the impossible task of juggling caring for your families while showing up every single day on the front line.
African Americans in LA County are being hit harder by the coronavirus compared to other groups. That's according to a new report released by county health officials. I'm Amanda Anyofyong reporting from downtown Los Angeles. Only 9% of residents are Black, but they make up 17% of deaths so far. A professor at the Keck School of Medicine talked to me about the distrust between African Americans and the healthcare system.
The differences in access to care, as well as being a more fundamental factor here. Our experiences in the healthcare system, being discriminated against or feeling looked down on for any reason, that's going to put somebody off from using the healthcare system for a long time.
He offered these solutions to improve the health of African Americans, provide free healthcare for those that are uninsured, lower co-payments and deductibles for those with insurance, and to also treat chronic conditions early.
Personal health is a major concern for lab technicians. I'm Becky Sweeney reporting from my home in North Hollywood. Some lab workers feel the extra responsibility to stay safe, while their labs process the COVID-19 test.
Just a few weeks ago, medical technologist SARA ANSON started experiencing flu-like symptoms.
4 or 5 days after I'd been out, an employee at our hospital tested positive. So I think I created a little bit of panic in the lab because they didn't know what it was.
Her COVID-19 test came back negative. Anson returned to her lab in Iowa. She started working 12-hour shifts handling the COVID-19 samples.
Once I put that box down, I washed my hands. I washed the coat I was wearing. I didn't keep anything on me that I couldn't have gotten rid of after I touched those objects.
In Kansas, environmental microbiologist MEREDITH Heath is usually testing water quality, but now she helps a public health team with the overwhelming number of COVID-19 tests coming in. The boxes of tests stack higher than a door frame.
People really wanted to help them. And I'm talking in any little way that they could help them. We had people bringing them treats. We're Midwest, that's what you do. You feed when you can't do anything else. We have them offering to clean things for them.
She started to social distance weeks before her state issued a stay-at-home order, only going to work and back home.
Both me and my fiance are essential employees. And so we are being extra careful because we do not want to bring this virus into our workplace. If we go down, our team goes down.
Both lab workers have had to adapt as they constantly receive new orders and information. But they try to stay optimistic even when they don't know what will come next. For Annenberg Media, I'm Becky Sweeney.
Shelter-in-place orders have left many Americans at home with more time for sleep. We spoke with an author and a Harvard Medical School professor of psychology on why many people are experiencing more intense and vivid dreams.
This isolation at home means that people don't have most of those other things to do that standardly interfere with their sleep. So I think the average American, obviously not healthcare workers and some other groups, but the average American is catching up on sleep right now. And sleep, hours slept is the strongest correlate with dream recall and vividness of dreams.
This is Nathan Hyun reporting from Seattle. Like many businesses, TV news has changed as a result of COVID-19. Local, network, and cable news ratings are higher than they've been in years. I had the chance to talk to reporters in Salinas, California, and Miami about why so many people are watching.
People are watching more than ever, and so I think it's definitely important. And while people are at home with nothing to do and they are following this news closely, they want to know how they're affected. And this is where I think local news is really important, because little things that may not make national news or may not go viral or whatever usually are very important.
Coronavirus has changed a lot of our workflow and how we used to work on stories. And right now, with all of the social distancing guidelines, we usually prefer to do interviews on Zoom or Skype or FaceTime. I definitely think the ratings are going up. For example, I work for a local market, and I think local news are really important because it's a way for the audience to stay informed.
I'm Jordan Hunter reporting from Sacramento, California. Figures in the sports world continue to help fight the coronavirus, the latest being UCLA and Lakers legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem donated 900 pairs of goggles to his alma mater yesterday.
I want to thank the doctors and nurses at UCLA for all that they are doing. You guys are awesome, risking your lives to help the public. I would like to do my part. So I'm going to use my influence and have my team source quality medical products, such as protective eyewear goggles like these.
Protective goggles were a staple in Abdul-Jabbar's 15-year run with the Lakers, where he won 5 championships and 3 MVP awards. Tyler, what's new in UFC?
Yeah, Jordan, thanks. UFC might be the only action we see this month. Dana White is 100% certain that the UFC 249 fight is still happening on April 18th, which is only 10 days away. While the location for this fight remains undisclosed, White is already thinking ahead, looking into securing an island where he can book fights for international athletes who can't come into the U.S. right now. And this obviously follows after Justin Gaethje replaces Khabib, since Khabib is one of those under travel issues. Jordan, what do you think? Do you think this is a smart decision, having this fight on April 18th?
Well, I mean, traditionally you would say no, but how the UFC works with being pay-per-view, they know that they're going to get everyone who's already sitting at home, and they're going to get more viewership that way. And I think they're looking at what WWE did by continuing WrestleMania in their empty performance center. They got almost nearly 1 billion views on all of their platforms. So I think Dana White is seeing that and seeing this as an opportunity to cash out and still please all of his many UFC fans all over the world.
Yeah, and as much as I would love for sports to be happening like yesterday, I'm just hesitant because what happens if we jump the gun and then that just turns into further restrictions and a stronger hold? I really would love to see things start happening, but I'm afraid things will landslide in the wrong direction if we move forward. Unfortunately, that is all we have in sports this week. Hopefully a little bit more as time goes on. I'm Tyler Meyerly reporting from Corona, California. Over to you, Jaewon.
Hi, I'm Jaewon Jung reporting from Fountain Valley. Zoom is being used every day now, whether it be for work or for school. It's becoming a new way to communicate. But Professor Jeff Watson also wants it to be a place for fun. He's now taking Zoom game submissions on a website called Zoom Jam.
I find that playing with a technology is a good way to learn about a technology. We were talking about a student project, and because of the quarantine and lockdown, many of our students aren't able to play test their games with other students in person. We were thinking like, oh, well, maybe we could use Zoom to prototype this game. The LA Times story gave it a little bit more PR awareness, I think. And so right after that story came out, we got like 4 submissions within the next day.
USC and UCLA students are setting their rivalry aside and working together online through Hack for Hope Hackathon. The goal is to collaborate on innovative solutions to problems we're all facing due to coronavirus.
Above and beyond anything, I hope it allows us to give people this moment of positivity that they remember, that we keep the community together, we keep us all talking, and that we build the systems so that if there are future circumstances in which it makes sense to go online or where we have to go online, we have some of those systems in place. If ever there was a time for rivals to unite, why not now?
Many industries have been impacted by COVID-19. One in particular is grocery stores. Across the nation, grocery outlets are running out of staple items. Some locals in the Orange County community have decided to take this opportunity to bring their homegrown produce into everyday meals.
Well, the aeroponic growing system offers me huge flexibility in how I feed my family. Not only is it nutritionally dense, because I can go from my growing system to my table in 10 minutes. So everything tastes better. It's got no pesticides. I don't have to worry about E. coli or salmonella like we have to worry about for our greens. But right now with this virus and thinking about heading to the grocery store, I don't have to do that for at least my tender greens and my herbs because I've got it safely growing in my backyard. I've got greens, as you can see over my shoulder, that are tasty, safe, and at my fingertips. The greatest gift we can give during this time, and I think hopefully the American people will understand, is that a healthy immune system is everything. By eating more fruits and vegetables, we are supplying what our immune system needs to be strong and healthy.
Passover begins tonight, and Jewish communities around the world are finding new ways to celebrate with their friends and families. Earlier today, I spoke to my dad, a rabbi at Shomrel Torah Synagogue, and he shared the non-traditional approach that his synagogue is taking from one of the most important traditions in the Jewish faith.
We're doing a community Zoom Seder, and there are over 100 members of our congregation, which is the Shomrel Torah Synagogue, who are going to be joining together. Plus, we're live streaming it so that anybody who wants to can also participate that way. And during the week, all of our morning and evening services, the times that we gather together for prayer, they are all going to be Zoomed and on live stream so that people, whether through Facebook or YouTube or our own synagogue, will be able to connect with us and feel that they're part of the holiday and hopefully enjoy some of the holiday spirit as best as they can.
So Noah, how is your family celebrating Passover this year?
Yeah, so it's a little weird that we're not going to be with our whole family. We usually have like 50 people at our Seder together, but we're doing a Zoom Seder tonight with the family. So we're all going to be in our own homes, but being able to be connected. And then tomorrow, like my dad said, we have our community Seder with the synagogue, and there'll be hundreds of people in that watching. So it's a little weird that we're going to be disconnected and not together, but we'll be connected virtually, and it'll still have some of the same feeling as a Seder. But you have Easter coming up. So what are you guys doing virtually, and how are you guys going to manage Easter away from your whole family?
I do. Our family usually celebrates with our extended family who also lives in California. So we'll probably just like FaceTime with them like we usually do through this whole time period. But again, my family will probably just watch a online virtual church service, probably hang out in our living room, make some Easter baskets, just try to keep our spirits high. Well,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for watching. We will continue to post newscasts here on the Annenberg Media YouTube channel.
And for more coverage on COVID-19, head to uscannonburgmedia.com. Have a good night.